welcome to my channel. Well, I found something. It's the Rat 2. I found a lot of things that I've been looking for. I found that web gear, that web belt that I've been looking for. Attached to it was this. I knew I had this. I knew I had this pocket stove, like an Esbit cooker. It has hexamine tabs in it and everything. I knew I had it somewhere, but I could not find it. I was looking everywhere. Well, anyways, like I said, I was gonna find that web belt, that tan one, when I wasn't looking for it, and I wasn't looking for this either. But I had the Rat. This is the Rat 1. All right. Both of these are in D2. Rat Model 1 D2. Ontario Knife Company. Now, as you know, Ontario Knife Company sold its stuff. But this was made in Taiwan. Alright, it wasn't made here in the United States. So, they still have the tooling and the blueprints, and they still know how to make this over in Taiwan. This knife is not going to disappear, especially because it's so popular. They also were already making clones of it before it disappeared. I've seen clones of this and how to identify it based on small little differences. Now, if you look at this blade shape, it's a fingerprint magnet. If you look at this blade shape, it's a lot like a sod buster. But a sod buster, requires two hands. But you have that upswept type of shape. You almost have the same length. The main advantage, of course, is this is one-handed opening. Now, my only complaint about this knife is the opening method. I don't like these thumb studs because this one cut me. This one cut me on opening. Now, with a thumb stud opening, I think I was trying to go fast with it or something. If you don't open it, if you don't stay on that stud all the way, your thumb can slip off and you can slice yourself. I either cut myself on opening or closing. But anyway, this thing cut me pretty good. And I set it away in like a bug out bag or something. It was just a little backpack kit, in case you're going to go camping or whatever. They had a little bit of everything, and I want to include a knife. And these are very good utility knives. But like I said, with a flipper, your finger's never in the way of the blade path. And this is what I went to, but it's basically the same size as the Rat 2. And for this one, this is a flipper. It's a bigger size and everything. This one was very good for work because it's on washers. It's not ball bearings. So yeah, it's not super fast. You really can't tell the difference that much between this and something on ball bearings. And the same way with this. See, when I just went like that just opening, it just, the edge of the blade just, kind of like reminded you, yeah, I'm here. And that may be, I'm just not that used to, yeah, they're ambidextrous and they're useful and everything. But I mean, this is pretty much your only way of opening. You pretty much got to do that. You can do with two fingers, kind of like start it and everything. But still, I never have been a fan of thumb studs. So I know this is, I mostly put traditional knives up here, but I've got all kinds of knives. So I just wanted to say, also about Ontario, it's a shame to see them go and everything, because they make good kitchen knives and everything else like that. But this pattern, this style of knife and everything won't go away just because a company, got sold. Companies change hands all the time through mismanagement or whatever. And sometimes, when it's an individual and everything, they're like a driving force of that company, and they they contribute a lot to the design and the marketing and everything else to the company. And when they go, unless they were, bringing a prodigy up with them and everything, like a son or, a coworker or something that they had already primed to take, the reins when they're gone, a lot of times the company will just go under. The business will get sold because the kids weren't into knives. They were into geothermal engineering or something else. They found something more lucrative and more interesting. They just weren't into knives. Not always are you going to be into what your parents are into. Sometimes businesses are handed down like that to their sons, and then other times they're like, nah, I can find something better to do, and bam, they're gone. And yeah, that's basically all I said about that. This is a very nice size of knife. You can get them in AUS-8 too. This one's in D2. Either one is good. D2 just tends to hold its edge a little bit longer, but AUS-8 is a true stainless, whereas D2 isn't really. It's close, but it's not really stainless. So everything has its advantages, disadvantages. They're very good knives, and I just wanted to put that one up there and show you. I found I was missing this one too for a little while. I go crazy in here looking for stuff. I'm like, I just started carrying this one. This one, it didn't slip out of my pocket, but I must have had it in my lap and it fell in between the cushion of the chair, and then it went down and fell underneath the chair. And I was looking for something else. What was I looking for? Some flashlight or something. I was using a flashlight to look for another flashlight, and I was flipping the chair over and everything else, and that's when I found the cut jack again. So I started carrying it because it's nice and flat. It's a big, I like, recarrying knives that I hadn't carried before. I could have carried the Rat 1 and 2, but, like I said, the thumb studs. So that's why I don't mind this thing being like, in a bug out bag or a survival thing, because it's small, it's compact, it's sharp as hell, it's easy to use, and as long as I'm not showing off, look, whoa, watch how fast I can make this thing come out, wow. I think I was doing something like that, but I didn't, go up. Anyway, I made a mistake, and I kind of learned from it. So there you go. I hope you found that interesting. Peppy found it interesting. Peppy never cuts himself playing with knives. He's always careful. I try to be careful too, but cuts happen, especially if you're into knives. Thanks for watching. Have a cutless day. Well, cutless as far as like cut yourself-less day. You can cut things just as long as you don't cut yourself.